Hi everyone. Today we are going to be discussing caregiver burnout in the context of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. The NIH defines caregiver burden as the extent by which caregivers experience emotional, social, financial, physical, and spiritual dysfunction as a result of caring for one with a debilitating disease. While so much time is spent focusing on the patients of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and rightfully so, we sometimes neglect the burden this disease puts on the whole family. We will start by presenting a brief animated skit. While this specific skit in and of itself is not real, the experiences portrayed by the actors are a synthesis of multiple interviews and personal experiences from Duchenne muscular dystrophy caregivers.
Today, we observe a struggling couple meeting with a therapist to sort out the emerging marital disputes that have followed their son's recent diagnosis of Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
How is everyone feeling today? Mr. and Mrs. Wisteria, it's nice to meet you. I'm Dr. K. I understand you're experiencing some issues related to your son's recent diagnosis, correct?
Yes, our middle son was diagnosed not long ago, and well, just with the stress of all, I can't sleep.
And she's been real snippy in the morning, too.
If I knew I could depend on you more, then maybe I would sleep better. But you're never home, and when you are, it's like you aren't really there with me.
I work overtime often. Our son's treatment drained us $45,669 last year. And that's not even counting our regular bills. It's the wheelchairs, the steroids, the hospitals, therapies, doctors, and on top of everything else, the home modifications. These bills don't pay themselves, and I'm our only source of income since you quit. I'm bending over backwards for the kids, and you don't even think I'm doing anything.
You make it sound like I quit my job for fun. I did it so I could take care of our son and our other children.
All right, I think I understand what's going on, and I want to point out that you're both experiencing something called caregiver burnout.
Burnt out? I'm not burnt out. I'm just tired of her constantly berating me.
Okay, let's take a step back. Do either of you feel any amount of social, emotional, physical, or spiritual dysfunction?
Yeah.
That, coupled with the financial concerns you've expressed, are traits typically associated with burnout. Though this session was intended to focus on your relationship issues, it's important to recognize that caring for a disabled child includes caring for yourselves. The best solution for both of you at this moment is to focus on each of you individually. This will really benefit your entire family dynamic.
Ourselves? There's barely enough time in the day to get through the chores, errands, treatments, therapies, let alone a few minutes to sit. You really think there's enough time for anything else?
Let me ask you then, is every day like that when you have no time to yourself, or just the worst days?
Some days, sometimes, I have a hard time finding the will to leave the bed in the morning. On my worst days, time moves by without me. It's like I blink and the entire day has just wasted away without any productivity. Maybe it's just the stress or from all the changes.
I see. And do these feelings get worse throughout the day, or is it a constant state?
I'm not really sure.
I've noticed when our son acts out or we talk about his condition or money that you're more distant as well.
It's not uncommon for behavioral or physical issues from the dependent party or changes in the financial condition to exacerbate feelings of depression among the caregivers.
Depression? I'm only having some issues sleeping. I don't think I'm depressed or anything.
Well, you've mentioned that you have trouble getting up in the morning. Are you still finding joy in things you used to? Have you been going out with your friends?
No.
One of the biggest problems in caregivers is social isolation.
Well, since his diagnosis, I feel like my friends haven't been in contact as much, and it's so frustrating. Sometimes after the kids go to sleep, I let myself cry over how frustrated I am, but never in front of the kids because I need to put on a brave face for them.
It's okay to cry when you're frustrated. Think of it as a necessary reprieve so you can put your best foot forward. Maybe try and find some time at night to watch a movie or read a book. Bonus points if you two do that together. Now, Mr. Wisteria, I've heard that you've been distant and removed from home often. Do you feel like there might be a reason behind why you work so many hours other than providing for the family?
Well, when I'm home and I see my son, I remember how active he was before his diagnosis. He was on the T-ball team. I thought he was going to play sports all the way through high school and then college like I did, but it's not possible for him now, and I just don't think it's fair. I guess I'd rather be away from it all than thinking about it and how he's going to pass away before me. I mean, what parent wants to think about that? What parent is okay with this?
So I think here what you need most is a change in attitude. Let's put it like this. If you have a blank piece of paper with one black dot on it and ask people what they see, they will say a black dot. That black dot represents the negatives in life that we tend to fixate on instead of realizing what else we have available. Look at the white space and not the dots. Don't just count down the days you have with him. Fill them up with activities you can all look forward to. Maybe he can't play ball, but maybe he has a TV show or book series he really likes that you could bond over. And make sure to include your other children, because they need your attention too. It won't be easy by any means, but it's important to focus on what you can do and not what's dragging you down.
We've seen how caregivers for Duchenne muscular dystrophy patients struggle to maintain their own emotional well-being due to the overwhelming stress that comes with the situation, which often affects other aspects of their lives, such as marriage. It's important to remember that both patients and families struggle with the condition, and both parties experience valid emotional burdens. Even if you aren't related to someone with DMD, you may know someone who does, and a good way to support them is to support their caregivers. Small actions such as helping around the house, watching the children, or even lending an ear can be a big help. As you saw in the skit, financial and marriage problems are just a few of the difficulties caregivers face, but these are not all. Our research showed that Duchenne muscular dystrophy caregiving has been linked to depression, anxiety, impaired immune function, heart disease, social isolation, financial deprivation, marital and sexual dysfunction, and even death. While cost of treatment is not the focus of our video, it's important to note that most DMD caregivers are untrained and unpaid parents who have given up their careers to help their children. With all this burden, it's no wonder over 70% of DMD caregivers report mild to extreme depression. As a community, it's up to us to help prevent caregiver burnout. We can encourage self-care, proper sleep, regular doctor's visits, exercise, healthy diet, and support groups and therapy. With all this in mind, it's crucial to remember, Duchenne muscular dystrophy does not affect just children. Duchenne muscular dystrophy affects the entire family, and it's only when we recognize this and help alleviate caregiver burnout that we can give DMD boys days filled with happiness and joy.